Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. I want to start with a number. $500. That's $500 a month. For a lot of people in this room, that's groceries for the month. That's a utility bill and a car payment combined. That's the difference between getting by and not getting by. And according to a brand new report, that's how much the average Social Security check could shrink in less than 7 years. Today we're going to break down what's actually happening with Social Security, what this report found, who gets hit hardest, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. No doom and gloom without solutions. Let's get into it.
First, let's make sure we're all on the same page about how Social Security actually works, because there's a lot of confusion out there. Social Security is funded primarily through payroll taxes, the money taken out of your paycheck with the label FICA. When you work, you pay in. When you retire, you draw out. Simple enough. But here's where it gets complicated. For decades, more people were paying in than drawing out. The system ran a surplus, extra money that got set aside in what's called the trust fund. Think of it like a savings account that the program built up as a cushion. Now the math has flipped. The baby boom generation, 76 million Americans born between 1946 and 1964, is retiring at a massive rate. The number of people drawing benefits is growing faster than the number of people paying in, so the program has been dipping into that savings account, that trust fund, to cover the gap. The question everyone's asking, when does the savings account run out? The answer, right now, is the end of 2032. This new analysis comes from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, a nonpartisan fiscal policy think tank. They looked at what happens when that trust fund hits zero, and they broke it down state by state. Here's the critical thing people get wrong. Insolvency does not mean Social Security disappears. Let me repeat that. If the trust fund runs dry, Social Security does not go away. The program would still collect payroll taxes every single week from every working American. That revenue continues. What it means is that benefits would be automatically cut to match only what's coming in. And right now, that math works out to about 77 cents on the dollar. That's a 23 to 24% cut across the board. In dollar terms, the average beneficiary would lose roughly $500 a month, and no state escapes it. The report explicitly says, and I'm paraphrasing here, that no state would be spared from the potentially devastating effects of insolvency. Now, some states would feel it harder than others because average benefits are higher in some places. The states projected to see the biggest monthly cuts include Connecticut, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Minnesota, Washington, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Utah, with average cuts ranging from about $523 to $556 per month. Why those states? Higher average wages mean higher average Social Security benefits, so a percentage cut hits bigger in absolute dollar terms. And the report found the cuts would affect between 10 and 23% of each state's entire population. We're not talking about a small group of people. This is potentially a quarter of some states' residents. Now, let's talk about what this actually means for real people. A survey from the Senior Citizens League, a nonprofit advocacy group, found that 73% of retirees depend on Social Security for more than half of their income, not a supplement, more than half. And 39% of retirees depend on it for all of their income, every single dollar. Think about that. Nearly 4 in 10 retirees have no other source of income. For them, a $500 cut isn't an inconvenience. It could mean choosing between medications and food. It could mean not being able to afford rent. And this isn't just a retiree issue. Social Security also covers disabled workers and survivors, widows, widowers, and children of deceased workers. A benefit cut affects all of them, too. The timeline here is also worth noting. 2032 is not some distant, abstract future. Someone who's 58 years old today will be 65 in 2032, right at retirement age. People who are planning their retirement right now need to factor this into their plans.
So, if everyone knows the trust fund is running low, why hasn't Congress done anything about it? The honest answer is that fixing Social Security requires either raising revenue, cutting benefits, or a combination of both, and every one of those options is politically painful. One proposal that gets discussed frequently is eliminating the payroll tax income cap. Right now, if you earn more than $184,500 a year, you stop paying Social Security taxes on anything above that amount. A worker making $60,000 pays Social Security taxes on every dollar they earn. A worker making $500,000 only pays on the first $184,500. Removing that cap or raising it significantly would bring in substantially more revenue. Other proposals include gradually raising the retirement age, adjusting the benefit formula for higher income earners, or a combination of changes. There's also a timing issue. The annual Social Security Trustees Report, which gives the official updated projection, hasn't been released yet this year. It's expected in the coming weeks and may revise the insolvency timeline. The current projection of end of 2032 already moved up from 2033, partly due to the effects of recent legislation on how benefits are taxed. So the clock is ticking and Congress hasn't acted yet.
All right, let's end with what actually matters for you. First, don't panic, but don't ignore it. The most likely outcome is that Congress acts before the trust fund hits zero. It has happened before, but likely is not certain, and counting on a last-minute political fix is not a financial plan. Second, understand your own Social Security picture. Go to SSA.gov and create a My Social Security account if you haven't already. You can see your projected benefit at different retirement ages. That number is the starting point for your planning. Third, think about the timing of when you claim. Every year you delay claiming Social Security past your full retirement age, up to age 70, your benefit grows by about 8%. If cuts do come, a larger base benefit means the cut hurts less in absolute terms. Fourth, diversify your retirement income. If 39% of retirees are relying on Social Security for 100% of their income, that's a dangerous position to be in regardless of trust fund solvency. A 401k, IRA, or even part-time work in early retirement creates a buffer. Fifth, stay engaged politically. This is ultimately a policy problem that requires a policy solution. Contact your representatives. Pay attention to what candidates say about Social Security. This issue will likely become a major topic in the upcoming election cycle.
Here's the bottom line. The $500 figure is a projection, not a guarantee. Congress can and likely will act, but the window to act is narrowing, and the people most at risk are those who've spent their entire working lives paying into a system they were promised would be there for them. Stay informed, plan accordingly, and if you have questions today, let's talk about them. Thank you.